Hello, welcome to my live.
Hi, good night. How,
Hi, what's your name? What can I call you by?
I go by Shante. So,
Shantae, nice to meet you. I'm Naomi. Hit me up. What do you want to talk about?
okay, I want to talk about your background. Can you
My
define,
background?
yeah, can you define a woman without using the word woman?
Yeah, it's an individual who's assigned feminine roles and expectations by their society based on their perceived femininity, femaleness, and/or stated identity.
Oh, femaleness. So, is female a social construct or is that something that is biological?
So, female refers to biological characteristics, but precisely where we define the boundary between male and female is determined
Mhm.
by society to an extent. If I can like illustrate, we have this essentially like medical standard where babies that have a glans that is less than 3/8 of an inch is assigned female at birth. If it's over 1 inch, the glands they're assigned male at birth, and anywhere in between is kind of this ambiguous genitalia that we typically refer to as like intersex conditions. And a lot of these intersex conditions are essentially like corrected by a surgery at birth. But my point
Okay.
is that by drawing the line of what gets you assigned female at birth at 3/8 of an inch, essentially there is a societal element in determining what precisely makes someone female. Precisely where we
Okay.
draw the
So,
line is socially constructed to an extent, if that makes sense.
okay, so you're talking about the clitora. So you're telling me that the clitora, which is encompassed in the vulva, and then has a vagina that then consists, leads all the way up to the cervix, the uterus, the eggs, the womb, all these things
In
are
typical
socially
in
constructed.
the typical female bodies, yes.
Oh, so you're saying that that is a social construct.
No, I'm saying that the precise line we draw, where what gets you assigned female at birth is having a glans less than 3/8 of an inch, is socially
I
constructed. But these
no.
biological characteristics that exist are physical in nature.
But the thing is, that's not what doctors or people in the medical field use to distinguish between male and female. There
No,
are
that's
a
literally how
variety.
doctors distinguish between male and female. They measure the length of the glands, and if it's over an
Hmm?
inch, it's male. If it's less than 3/8 of an inch, it's female. If it's between, it's
No,
intersex. That's
no,
literally
that's
how they
not.
do it.
No, because if you're going to determine a baby's sex characteristics, there are certain tests that have to be done. No, but in the cases of intersex, what is the
What?
case is,
Wait,
is
what's
like a
what?
female.
Can I ask you, how do they determine your sex at birth then? If they don't do it based off of the length of the glands?
Okay, but the glands itself isn't what determines your sex. You do know that, right? It has to be
Oh, I
encompassed by a
absolutely
vulva,
agree that
and then
biological
there has
sex
to
is
be
a
an
wait.
opening.
I want to be clear. I absolutely agree that biological sex is a composite variable. It accounts for many
Mhm.
characteristics, including chromosomes,
Exactly. So
reproduction, hormones, anatomy, even gray matter
exactly,
distributions are sexually dimorphic. But specifically, what gets you
exactly.
assigned your sex
No,
at birth is the length of your
nobody.
glands. That's the
No,
medical standard.
that is totally and utterly, and I don't mean this to be disrespectful, but that is basically garbage. Your genitalia
What do you
doesn't
mean?
consist of just your glands. It for a doctor to determine if you're male or female at birth, right? For a doctor to look at your genitalia to determine if you're male and female at birth, it has more to do with the glands that is considered to be the genitalia. I know they look at those things. They look at the
So this is
penis
this
and they
is
look at the clitora, but
this is
all
a
of
little
those
graph
things
which
come.
shows
I
how
know.
doctors assign people sex at birth.
No,
The
no doctor
assignment
can
is based
assign
on the
you
length
your
of the
your
glands,
sex or
which is essentially what they're saying when
Naomi.
they assign you a sex at birth. Let me explain this real quick. The way that
Oh,
the doctors assign a sex at birth is they look at the length of the glands. From there, essentially they're making an educated guess that you have all these other, sexually dimorphic
they
characteristics.
can't
But
they
sometimes
can't
they're
make an
wrong.
they can't make an educated guess, Naomi, whether or not you have the other sex characteristics because the clitora will literally come with the vulva. It has to be encased in the vulva. And the penile gland would have to be there, right below it will be the testicles. And that is what determines if you're male and female. They do not guess because a doctor cannot assign you your genitalia. That is has to do with your chromosomes, your DNA, your
Actually, I want to be
biology,
clear.
all of
There are
that. A
cases. Wait,
doctor
wait, no,
cannot
no, no.
give you
Sh- you
your
said something that
biology,
is factually
your
incorrect. I need to
genitalia.
correct you here. Hold up. You said something that is factually incorrect. There are cases where doctors do assign you your genitalia. If you're in that purple zone, it is the medical standard for doctors to perform surgery to make you conform to one of the other zones. That is literally the medical standard practice. And I think that's awful.
Okay. Can I expound on that? So in cases where there are intersex persons who have genital deformities, right? Say a little girl is born with an extended clitora, but she still has the vulva, she still has the vaginal opening, right? Which would still consist of a uterus, a womb, right? All these wonderful things. No one
Sometimes,
can
but there are
assign
also
her.
cases where that's not the case.
Naomi, can I please finish? So in these cases, she would be considered an intersex because of the elongated clitora, right? But she's still a female. A doctor cannot assign you female because it has to do with your DNA, your biology, your chromosomes. All of those things is what determines your sex, Naomi, not a doctor. We haven't gone that far in medical
So
advances.
I want to be clear. I think you're not understanding what I'm saying. What I'm
I
saying is
understand
that
exactly what
like
you're
the
saying.
actual
I'm on
sex
the
characteristics. No. Let me explain real quick. The actual sex characteristics, yes, these are physical biological characteristics. But
exactly. So a doctor can't
when a
assign you,
doctor,
right?
Shauna, I need to finish here. When a doctor decides to put male or female on your birth certificate, they do that on an educated guess by looking at your
No, they
genitals.
can't
That's
guess.
how they assign your sex at birth and what they write
And
on
and
your
I'm
birth certificate.
and I'm telling you, it's not a guess. It's a fact. It's a biological
But there are
fact.
lots
They
of times
can't
they get
make an
things wrong.
educated
Hold up.
guess. Naomi, they've never
Shauna,
gotten a
I want to be
person's
clear.
genitalia wrong.
Wait.
Naomi,
There are many cases where they guess wrong things about your biological sex. For
how
example, people
so?
with complete androgen sensitivity syndrome, they will have a completely
Please,
developed
please,
vulva
please
and they will
elaborate
be assigned
for
female
the
at birth.
audience.
Shauna,
Uh,
can I please
Hold
explain
on,
this? Why are you
Naomi.
interrupting me?
Yes, I want you to explain in detail. Call the name again so that the audience can look it up because I want to expound on every single thing that you say. I know these conditions, but I want the audience to know what these conditions are. So please expound on the condition that you're making reference to.
Sure. There is a medical condition known as complete androgen sensitivity syndrome. Essentially, it's an intersex condition where you will always be assigned female at birth because you'll have a fully developed vulva. Now, what's interesting about people that have complete androgen sensitivity syndrome is that they don't have a uterus, they don't have a cervix,
Mhm.
they actually have internal
In
testicles.
most
When the
cases,
doctors assign them
in
female at birth, they got some things wrong by suggesting that this person is, just as the same as other females. Well, it doesn't account for the fact that they don't have a uterus, that they don't have
okay,
they don't have a cervix, that they don't have ovaries. They have
in most
testicles. This is a
cases,
case where
in most cases they don't have uteruses, but there are cases with with females that are born with androgen sensitivity syndrome who do have uteruses. In the
that's
cases
correct,
in
but
which they have,
that doesn't mean that there
in
aren't
the
cases where
case,
the doctors got something wrong.
but they
Essentially, all
didn't
I'm
get it
showing is
wrong
that
because
there are
in
cases where the
order,
doctors get things wrong.
Naomi, you just spoke on something and I'm expounding on it. So with this, it's actually a disorder. So with this disorder, there are females, right? Because they have a vagina, which is what is the determining factor to one being a woman. So these women, because if you look up this syndrome, it says women born with this disorder. So they're still women. They have vaginas, and what they will have inside of them are underdeveloped testes, which will, in most cases, have to be removed because they become cancerous. So these women, in most cases, they don't have uteruses, but there are cases in which they do. And because of them being women, which are females, they stand the possibility of still having kids. Remember, we've advanced in surgery. There have been
I
woman plants. The first successful woman
so
plant, our uterus
Shauna,
implant. Let me say this.
you're proving
And
my point.
I'm proving your point that they're still women
Yes.
because even if you look up the syndrome, the disorder, which is what it's called, it says women born with this disorder.
All
They're
right.
still
Can I
women because they
can I
still have
explain
a
to you how you're proving my
vagina.
point? My
No,
point was simply that there are some cases where the doctors get some things wrong about their
it's
biological
not
sex.
wrong. They're
They
right
don't have
because they're still
Shauna,
women.
let me explain this. I let you finish. Please allow me to explain. Essentially, when the doctor says that this person is female, we're making assumptions about the rest of their biological characteristics. But many of those biological characteristics, and like you admitted, in most cases, they don't have a uterus. They can't get
So
pregnant.
you're saying that
If we think that
isn't a
female
woman if
means
she can't
Shauna,
become
you gotta let me
pregnant?
finish. Shauna, I let you finish. Please let me finish. If we think that female people
My
are
mother
people
is
that can give
white. I
birth,
don't need
this is
bleaching
a
cream.
case. Shauna, can I please finish? Okay, I let you finish. Can you give me the same respect?
Okay,
Now,
okay, no
when you have
problem.
When we have someone who is essentially, we mark them as female legally, and that's how the doctors assign them, but they don't have all the characteristics typically associated with females, then that means that the doctor got some things wrong. Essentially,
No,
the
but
birth
they
assignment
can't.
of sex is not 100% accurate. That's my entire
But
point, and I
Naomi,
agree with you about that.
but Naomi, that makes
I want to
absolutely
actually, I
no
want to talk
sense
about a really
because
cool intersex condition.
the only characteristic that a
Shauna,
woman
one
needs
sec.
is a vagina.
I still haven't asked you my question. I want to talk about a really cool intersect condition that illustrates where
But I
doctors
need
get
to
things
expound on
completely
that.
wrong.
You
Can
made
I
some
ask
things
you,
that you said some
are
things that I
Guevedos
need to
people
correct.
male or female? Shauna, are Guevedos people male or female?
Okay. Naomi doesn't want me to expound on that. So the fact with these women who have these disorders, so you're telling me if a woman has cervical cancer and she removes her uterus or the entirety of her womb, she's no longer a woman, Naomi?
I do not believe that at all.
Exactly. So women, because the disorders specifically states that these are women born with this disorder. Only women are born with this disorder, right? So a woman with a medical condition, Naomi, is still a woman. The doctors
So
didn't make
I
any
agree, Shauna.
mistakes because
I
the
agree.
defining factor in determining a woman, a female, is a vagina. So whether or not the woman has a uterus, because of whatever disorder she has, she's still a woman because she has a vagina. So even though these women are born with vaginas, because even if they have any kind of disorder, they have vaginas, which will still make them women, which will still make them females.
So, Shauna,
Go
I
ahead
want to be
now.
clear. I do not believe that you have to have every single typical female characteristic to be considered female, let alone a woman. My entire point
I
was
agree
just
with
that
you. You have
when
to
the
be
doctor
born a
says that
girl.
this person is female, well, there's some things like that doesn't paint a complete picture. They sometimes get something wrong by assuming that
They
they have
didn't
these
get it
other
wrong because
characteristics that
they
they
have a
don't.
vagina. And that's what
My
I'm
entire
saying.
point, Shauna, my entire point is that the birth assignment of sex does not accurately classify every sexual characteristic about that person. So you proved my point, and I
No,
appreciate that.
Naomi, I
Now,
proved you
I asked
wrong.
you a
I
question
proved
earlier,
you
you
wrong,
didn't
Naomi,
answer.
because she was
Shauna,
born a girl.
Shanta, I asked you a question
Naomi,
that you didn't
you
answer.
proved me right. You proved me
I,
right that the defining
I asked
factor
you a
in being a woman
question.
is being born a girl with a vagina. And these women still have vaginas, even though they have disorders. They still have a vagina, which would make them women, because even the disorder itself points to women, because only women are born with this disorder. So again, you're proving me right. Women have vaginas. It doesn't matter if they have uteruses for whatever medical reasons, they're still women because they have a vagina. They were born
So
girls.
I
But
do agree
continue.
that women typically have vulvas and that your assigned sex at birth
And
is based
vaginas.
off what genitalia you have. Now, I asked you a question earlier that you didn't answer. That question
Go
is,
ahead now.
do you consider Guevedos people to be male or female?
Please expound on the condition because we need
Sure.
people in the audience to understand what it is.
Yeah, so someone who is Guevedos is born such that they have a female phenotype at birth. They have a vulva. Doctors always assign them female at birth based on the presence of the vulva. Now, Guevedos people are really interesting in that when they hit puberty, they actually have undescended testicles that do descend and give them a surge of testosterone, which masculinizes their body. It causes their genitals to change into a phallus, and they become physically male in every way, and they can even father children. So are these people male or female?
Okay, so if the defining factor in classifying somebody as a male in the medical field, Naomi, is the ability to produce sperm. So if a man
I thought you
has
said it was based on your
defects,
genitals. Hold up. You
no,
said it was based on
Naomi,
genitals,
and
not based off of
if he
not
has
based
the
off
genitals
feces.
of a man, Naomi, so if he has the genitals of a man and he has a functioning penis, because if a man, this is a form of intersex again, right? The penis is small, but they still have testes. And they still stand a chance of getting somebody pregnant because they still produce sperm.
So
Whatever
wait,
it is,
Shanta,
if there
I
are
need to
fatty
clarify your
tissues
position real quick.
surrounding, if
Wait.
there are
Can I
fatty
clarify your
tissues,
position real quick?
okay,
Earlier, you
go
said
ahead.
that someone's sex is based off of what genitals they have. Now you're saying it's based off of
Functioning
what gametes they
genitals.
produce. Which one is it?
Functioning genitals. Functioning genitals. So if it is that a woman has if a woman has XX, if a woman has XY chromosomes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Sawyer syndrome. She has
Yes.
XY chromosomes, right? She still has a what?
Well, typically she'll still have a vulva and she'll still typically have a functioning reproductive system.
She still has a vagina, right?
Yes, typically.
Okay, she always does have a vagina. So they're still what? Women. So if a man, right,
Wait.
has a
I was
disorder and
asking
he still
Shauna. I
has
was asking you,
testicles,
what is
he
the
still has
characteristic?
penis.
Wait, Shauna, you didn't answer my question. My question is, what is the characteristic that makes them male or female, in your opinion?
Their reproductive organs, Naomi.
So, like the gametes, or
Naomi, your reproductive organs are what specifically?
so that would typically be like the testicles or like the ova, and there are other associated reproductive organs
No,
which you need to
your
like
reproductive
actually
organs aren't
produce.
that. Your reproductive organs is your vagina and your testicle sac, right? Because
Well,
those
you
are the
can't
things that
reproduce
allow you to reproduce.
if you just have a vulva, you can't reproduce. You would also need to have a
Exactly.
uterus and
Your
ovaries.
vagina, a vagina, which consists of what?
Well, that's just like the hole itself.
The whole. And then leading up to the reproductive organs, what does the reproductive organs consist of when you have a vagina?
In the typical sense, it would be a uterus, ovaries, and fallopian tubes.
And what does that enable a female to do, a woman to do?
So that would allow someone to get pregnant in the typical case.
Okay. Oh, so that is the reproductive organs, right? So if a male, right, has what appears to be a vulva, but his penis is underdeveloped, and he still has testicles, and the testicles of a man is what? His what?
Like reproductive organs?
His reproductive organs, because even if he doesn't have a penis, if his nutsack is still there, they can take the sperm from that nutsack, right? And that will enable him to father his own kids. So a
So
male's
essentially,
reproductive organs
let me make sure I'm
are,
understanding you
are the
correctly.
ability to produce
If I'm understanding you
sperm.
correctly, Shauna, you're saying that what makes someone male or female is having the reproductive organs that are typically associated with that sex. And then you're also saying that Guevedos people are male. Is that correct?
Do Barbados people have the ability to produce sperm? Do they have a penis?
Yes. At least after puberty, they do. Yes.
Okay, so they have sperm and they have penises. Do
Mhm.
women have sperm and penises?
Typically, no.
Okay, so which sex has sperm and penises?
So typically it's males, but like there are
Typically,
trans
it's
females that
male.
do.
Okay, so typically it's male. So a person with Weaver's syndrome, right, or disorder, is still a what? Based on those characteristics.
I'm asking you what you think. Do you think that
It's
Guevedos
still a
people are male or
male.
female?
It's still a male. It's still a male. A
Excellent.
man with a
Shauna,
disorder
Shauna,
is
you
still
just proved
a
my point.
male. If
You
he
just
can
proved my
produce
point. I need
sperm
to
and
explain this.
testicles, he's still a
I
male.
agree, Shauna. I agree that Guevedos people are male. Now, you said that this doctor's assignment of male or female at birth is always correct, but a Guevedos person is assigned female at birth, yet they are a male.
No, not in
Therefore,
most
the
cases,
doctor's
Naomi.
guess was wrong.
No, no, Naomi. Give me the percentage of Barbados persons that were assigned female.
It doesn't matter the percentage.
No, no,
My point
I
is that
do
you
need
guessed
that.
wrong
No,
about
Naomi,
someone's sex.
if you're gonna make a statement like that, you need to give the percentage. Give the percentage.
Shauna, if I can find one counterexample to doctors guessing
Okay,
people's sex, then I prove that it is a
before
guess that
medical
is sometimes
advancement was
wrong.
so diverse,
Shauna, all I need to do is
diverse,
find a
and
counterexample,
before
and I found
people
a
understood,
counterexample. You lost this. Doctors' assignment of sex is
no,
wrong sometimes.
I won because even though the doctors assumed they were female because of the vulva and the small penis that they had,
But no,
what
Shauna,
defined
you made
their
the claim.
sex was the fact that they had
Shauna,
sperm and
you
a
made the
penis.
claim. Wait, I need to be clear. You made the claim that doctors assigning a sex at birth is 100% correct, as in they always get right whether
No,
you are a male
I
or a
said to you,
female.
no, I didn't say that. I said doctors don't assign you your sex, your hormones, your genitalia, your reproductive organs, which would make me right. A man with
So
Weaver's
Then what
syndrome
happens when
is
a
still
doctor puts
a
male or female on your birth
man.
certificate? What happens when a doctor puts male or female on your birth certificate? How do they do that?
In that case, his balls dropped, his penis grew, and he got a girl pregnant.
How does a doctor decide to put male or female on your birth certificate?
How does a doctor decide to put male or female on your birth certificate? By looking at your reproductive organs.
Right. I said they make an educated guess, and you said no, it's not a guess.
It's not a guess. It's not a guess.
Well, if it's not a guess, then why is it wrong sometimes?
what percentage of doctors were wrong in determining, looking on the genitalia, that a baby is a boy or a girl?
I don't know the exact percent, but if it's
No,
something they guess, then it can be wrong. If something is like a, objective fact, then it can't be wrong. My point is that this is a guess, not an objective fact.
it can't be a guess, because guess what? Guess what happened? A man with that syndrome, what happened later on?
Like through the process of puberty, they will develop as male.
Exactly. So a doctor doesn't assign you your gender, your biology does, right?
So doctors, do you know what it mean? Do you know what I mean when I say a doctor assigns someone a sex at birth?
Naomi, you're saying that the doctor determines if you're a man or a woman, right?
No, I'm saying they make a guess as to whether you're a man or a woman. Do you know what I mean
And
when I say a
Naomi,
doctor assigns you a sex at birth?
please elaborate.
Okay, so when I say a doctor assigns you a sex at birth, they look at your genitals and they make an educated guess as to what sex you are. But sometimes
What
that guess is
percentage of,
wrong, as we've
so
shown
what
with
was the
Waverly's people.
percentage? Okay, what was the percentage of somebody being,
I've already told you the percentage doesn't matter. By
okay.
proving that there are cases where the guess is wrong,
How
I
many
have shown
cases
that it
were
is a
there?
guess.
How many cases were there, Naomi? Give me
I've already
one
told
case.
you it doesn't matter
Give
how
me
many
one
cases there
case.
are.
Give me one case. One case. Give me one case.
Barbados people. What do you want to just like Google like a Barbados person?
Yes. Yes. Give me the numbers of person that were misgendered.
You asked for one person. You asked
Yeah,
for one
give me
person.
give me the name of the one person.
Let's see. I found an article about this person named Carla, who is a Barbados person.
Oh,
in the case of
there
Carla,
was one
the doctor
person.
guessed wrong.
So the one person, because they didn't know about this condition before, just like how they said that babies
You do
couldn't
know
feel
that.
pain
Wait,
before.
Shauna. I need to be
Hold
clear.
on.
Even after they
Okay,
discovered
you
the
keep
first Barbados
interrupting me.
person, they still guess wrong when Barbados people are born.
Okay, so I'm going to say this to you. So you found the one person. So given the fact that before these
You
medical
asked for one
advances,
person. That's what you
babies,
asked for. Don't
yes,
move your
and that's what I'm
goalposts.
saying to
Don't
you.
move the
So now
goalposts,
that
Shauna.
doctors know about this syndrome, and they know to look for the defining factors in this disorder. Do you think that doctors will look at a
Actually, I
baby's
want to be clear.
genitalia?
When a baby is born, stop, Shauna. When a baby's born, they do not look for Guevedos syndrome. They just see a vulva and assign them female at birth. They guessed
Okay, I
wrong.
just looked
They
up.
do
I
not
just
like
looked
run
up images
extensive
of
tests on.
Weaver's
Wait,
syndrome, and there
Shauna,
are still
this
small
is so
underdeveloped
silly.
testicles.
Doctors do not run extensive tests on every baby to determine their sex at birth. They just look at their genitals
Okay.
and make an educated guess. You don't even know how doctors assign sex at birth.
Okay, so I just look up Weaver's syndrome, and there are small underdeveloped testicles there. So
They are
still don't.
internal, but they're not assigned male at birth because
Yeah,
they're
but they
internal.
are still there. They're still there. They're still there, Naomi. I just looked it up. It's still there. So given the fact that these doctors see the testicles, right? And given the fact that nobody was diagnosed male, right? Nobody was misgendered, but this disorder is something that is there. But given the fact that nobody was identified as male or female with this condition, why did you bring it up to begin with?
Wait, my point is that they are literally misidentified. They are all assigned female at birth, yet you and I both agree that they are male.
And you just looked up at the one person with this condition. So given the fact that doctors believe that babies couldn't feel pain.
Shauna, I need to be clear.
Naomi, every time I try to make a point, you interrupt me.
Every person with Guevedos syndrome is assigned female at birth. Do you agree or disagree?
And I asked you to give me the names of these persons.
You would even give you like specific names of people? Shauna,
you gave me one.
Wait, Shauna,
and you gave me one.
So stop moving the goalpost. Seriously, that's not cool. That's not intellectually honest. You're being very cringe right now.
Interrupting me. All right. So given the fact that you named one person, and I asked you, given the fact that doctors had the belief.
That's why I named a person.
Yes, the one person. So given the fact that doctors said that babies couldn't feel pain.
Do you want the name of another person?
Okay, he's interrupting me again.
For you?
He's interrupting me again. All right. So given the fact that in the past, doctors said that babies couldn't feel pain, and now with medical advances, they now understand that that is in fact a lie. And medicine has moved forward, right, to understanding this and have made the correct, right, the correct
So
decisions in going
science
forward.
absolutely
So given the
progresses, but I want to
okay,
be
he's
Shauna.
interrupting me again.
Science absolutely does progress. However, when a Guevedos person is
Exactly.
born, they are assigned female at birth. They are not assigned male. They are not assigned Guevedos.
And I'm
That
saying to
is
you,
what
given
happens
the
medically.
fact,
Do you
and I'm
disagree that
saying
that's
to
what
you,
happens when a Guevedos person is born?
and I'm saying to you, Naomi, given the fact that their biology, their DNA, right, their chromosome determined that they were in fact males. I'm going to ask you again, how is it that a doctor, right, gave you your gender or your sex? You're not understanding what I'm saying. The fact is, these people with Weaver-Dust syndrome, their biology, their chromosomes, their DNA, their bone density, right, their muscle mass, their lung capacity determined that they were males. How can you say that the doctor assigned him? It wasn't the doctor, it was his biology, his DNA, his
Shauna,
chromosomes. All of
Shauna,
those
you
things
are
is
being
what determined
intentionally
that he
obtuse
was
here.
male.
Shauna, stop. Shauna, please stop being intentionally obtuse. I told you what I mean when a
Naomi, you
doctor
are being
assigns someone at birth.
intentionally
When a
obtuse because
doctor
I'm saying to you,
determines,
a doctor
wait,
cannot assign you.
Shauna,
It's
stop.
your
Please stop
DNA.
mischaracterizing me. Shauna, when I say assign sex at birth, I mean when the doctor takes a look at the baby and then writes down male or female at their birth certificate. Do you understand what that is?
And I'm saying to you, regardless of what the doctor writes down, because right now, children, you can change your birth certificate to you. I'm sure your birth certificate right now says female, but you're obviously a male. So I'm saying to you, doctors don't
Hey, we
determine
don't need
that
to
your
resort to
biology
personal
is.
attacks here, okay?
It's not a personal attack. I'm saying to you, no doctor can assign you your gender. It's your biology. Your birth certificate just right now says female. Your driver's license says female. You call yourself a woman, but you're a male. You're a man. So I'm saying to you, it's not it's not a doctor that assigns you your sex or your gender. It's your biology. So given that these
Wait,
men were
I
given
want
the
to ask you,
he's interrupting
Shauna,
again.
do you think that misgendering me contributes anything to this conversation? I'd rather talk about the topics and the ideas at hand rather than just like calling each other names.
But you're saying that and you're such a hypocrite because you mispronounced my name intentionally several times, my brother. So
What's your
let's get
name?
back on topic. So
What's your
let's get
name?
back on topic.
Wait, what's your name?
It says Shandante and you said Shana. So let's get
Oh,
back
it's
on
Sean
topic. So
Dante? I
yeah,
apologize,
so
Sean Dante. I didn't realize. That's my bad.
oh, I'm sure you did not. So given the fact that these doctors said that this person was a girl, right? They said that this person was a girl, but biology said, their DNA said, their chromosome said, their muscle mass, their
Mm-hmm.
lung capacity, all of these things said, my brother, look at your nuts. You're a man. The doctor cannot assign anybody their gender or their sex. It's their biology. It's their DNA.
Sean Dante,
All of
you
that
do,
is what
Sean Dante,
determined that he was a
Sean
male.
Dante, Sean Dante. When we started this conversation, I simply was trying to prove that when a doctor assigns a sex at birth, when a doctor essentially writes down male or female on a birth certificate based on the genitals they observe on a baby, that sometimes they get that wrong. And Guevedos people are a perfect example of sometime where the doctor gets that wrong. And you
And I'm
disagreed with
saying to
that.
you that the doctor cannot assign you anything. It's your biology. And I'm proving that to you, and you're intentionally ignoring it. You prove me right several times. These people with these disorders were labeled as women, as girls when they were born, right? With these defects. But nature, their biology, their chromosomes, their DNA, right? Their nutsack determined that they were males. So a doctor didn't assign that. That was their biology. And you are intentionally ignoring it. You're intentionally ignoring it. And I've proven my point. A
I want to
doctor
be
doesn't
clear.
determine your
I'm actually not
gender.
ignoring anything. I do agree that the biological characteristics are real. I agree with that 100%. My point is that the doctor's guess at those biological characteristics was wrong. Can we agree that yes, these biological characteristics are real, and yes, the doctor guessed wrong about what this person's biological characteristics were?
Well, in many cases, doctor gets wrong because doctors thought that black people were less than human. What 3/5 of
Yes,
human?
that's
They guess
literally
that
my
black
point.
people were exactly. But guess what nature said? Guess what biology said? Guess what DNA said? We were human beings. So it doesn't matter what a doctor says. It matters what your biology says.
Donna,
So if
you
a
literally
baby
proved my point.
is
Hold up,
born,
hold up. That's
he's
actually
not.
literally my point. My point was that yes, there are these biological truths, there are these biological characteristics, and when a doctors assign a sex at birth, that assignment's not
The doctor
perfect
doesn't
because
assign yourself.
the doctors are not looking at some like objective truth about all your biological sex characteristics. They're just making a guess. You literally stated my point. I appreciate
But
that. Thank
you're
you so
proving me
much.
right again. A doctor cannot determine that because they will make mistakes. What you have to do is wait until the baby grows. When you see
Well,
those
Shauna,
nuts, that you see that
Shandante,
penis,
if you're
you
agreeing with
see that.
me, then yes,
Okay,
we are proving the
he's
same point
again
because now we
interrupting me.
agree on this. I'm glad I
He's
changed your mind
interrupting
on
me.
this.
You can't change my mind, Naomi. And you saying that, you want to give yourself the win. But everybody in here with a logical thinking, even your mods are saying kick her already because they saw that I've won. A doctor cannot assign you your sex at birth because a doctor doesn't give you your sex. Your biology does, your chromosome does, your DNA does, your hormone does, your bone density, your muscle mass, your lung capacity. These are the things that determine your sex. So it doesn't matter what a doctor says. It doesn't matter what you said. When you look down there on your penis, you know you're a male because only males have penis. And we've constructed males to be man in society. And we've constructed female to be woman in society. And those are the two genders, male and female. What society has constructed based on male and female, right, is woman based on female and man based on male. A doctor doesn't give you that. It's your DNA, your biology, your chromosomes. You understand?
Shandante, I agree with you. You just proved my point. That's absolutely my point. My point is that when doctors assign a sex, it's not a perfect process. I think that we can
And
agree that
I'm saying to
there
you,
is such
doctors
a
don't
thing
do
as
that.
being assigned a sex at birth. Well, we can also agree that it's not a perfect process because it's not 100% accurate. That was my point
And
from
I
the start. So thank you so much
and
for
my
agreeing with me
point
on the
is,
point. I'm
Naomi,
glad I could
but
change your mind on that.
Naomi, you didn't change my mind and you know you lost. You sitting there engrossed, right?
Wait, I
In it,
lost because you now
you
just like
lost,
restated
Naomi,
my
because
point.
you're saying that a doctor
How is this a
assigns you your
loss because
gender.
you
And
restated
I'm
my
saying
point?
to, oh my God, he really does have dysphoria. Okay. A doctor, I'm going to say this slowly, right? A doctor cannot assign you your sex at birth because a doctor doesn't give you your DNA, your chromosomes, right? And your reproductive organs.
You are right
Those are
about that.
what, okay. So a doctor cannot assign you your sex. Your
So
biology does.
I want to recap. I want to recap what happened in this conversation. I made a claim that the way that doctors guess whether it's someone as male or female by looking at their genitals is not 100% accurate. And then later, you went on to agree with my claim after I presented new evidence the way they dose people.
I've
And then
always said that. I've said that on my
Sean
life.
Dante, please stop. I need to finish. And then you started just yelling my exact position back at with me, which I agree with it,
Naomi,
while also just like
this is
calling
my
me male and man. Your
this
transphobia doesn't like contribute anything to this conversation, right?
and your denial doesn't contribute nothing to it either, Naomi.
What am I
You
denying?
grew up.
Wait,
You are denying
Sean
that you're a
Dante,
male.
Sean Dante,
You're
can you please
denying that you're a
explain to me what am I
man.
denying?
Naomi, are you a man?
No, I'm a woman.
Naomi, are you a male?
I am a trans female.
And you cannot transition your sex. So you're denying
Wait,
basic
Sean Dante,
science,
hold
basic
up, Sean Dante.
biology. You're
Wait.
denying
I
your
want to be clear,
chromosomes.
Sean
You're
Dante.
denying
Sean Dante,
everything that is
wait.
logical. And you're
Sean
denying
Dante,
the fact
stop.
that a doctor
I need to
cannot
explain to you.
assign you
Sean
your sex.
Dante, Sean
Your
Dante, I
DNA
need
does,
to
your
explain this to you.
biology.
Sean Dante, please stop. I need to explain this to you. I agree that I can't change my chromosomes, but you and I both agreed that biological sex is much more than just your chromosomes. We agree that it has to do
Yes,
with hormones, anatomy, even brain matter distributions. And
exactly.
these are
And you have
things
none
that
of
I
the
can
anatomy
change.
of a
I can,
female.
Shandante, please stop. Shandante, I can change many aspects of my biological sex.
Do you have a
I'm aware of the
vagina?
characteristics, Shandante. I'm not finished yet. You will let me finish, okay? I'm aware of the biological sex characteristics that I can and can't change. There's nothing that I'm denying about myself. I simply
So how
believe
can you be a
that
trans
having
female? Do you
XX
have a
chromosomes
vagina?
is not Shandante, please stop. I simply believe that having XX chromosomes is not required to be female, as is shown with cases of Swyer syndrome. I believe that
Oh,
having a reproductive system such that you can get pregnant is not required to be female, as is in the case of, infertile women, of intersex people that are born without certain body parts. I believe that because my anatomical sex is female, since the hormones I take, because my hormonal sex is female from the hormones I take, because my brain matter distribution is female based on my biology.
Do you have a vagina? You have none of the characteristics.
And I have changed many aspects of my biological sex.
Oh my God. Okay, and I'm saying to you, name one of the characteristics that you have a female. Name one.
Hormone levels.
Hormone levels. And so you're saying that the definitive factor in a woman is hormonal levels.
Shandante, I do not think that there is a single definitive factor that makes someone female, let
alone
a woman.
For every woman out there, every woman has a disorder, right? Every woman. Something is wrong with some of us. Not all of us can give birth, but we can do every single thing else that a woman does. Not all of us have a menstrual cycle, but we can do every single thing else that a woman does. Not all of us have breastises, but we can do every single thing else that a woman does. It's not our hormones, because a lot of women have PCOS, right? PCOS.
Wait, Shanta,
and they're still women. So I'm going to ask you, given the fact that you have,
I need to explain how you're mischaracterizing
hormonal levels are the only thing that you think that makes you a woman, then you're not a woman.
Shandante, please stop mischaracterizing me. I said that there is not a single characteristic which can be used to determine solely whether someone is male or female. I think that it's a composite variable. It accounts for many characteristics.
You have none.
Your chromosomes,
you have
your
none naturally.
Your
you
hormones,
have to take
your anatomy,
pills.
And brain matter distributions.
And no woman has to take pills to be a woman. The fact that you have to take pills doesn't make you a woman.
Shandante, that's wrong. There are plenty of cis women that do take estrogen, the same estrogen that I take, in order to
and they still have a vagina, they still have breast, they still have all the definitive characteristics of woman.
You know that
so if you stop taking estrogen,
Shandante,
no, you don't have breasts. You have fatty tissue. Okay, Naomi, what are breasts? Breasts lactate. Do you have the ability to lactate?
You do know that trans women can lactate, right?
No.
No, literally, once you you can fully develop your milk ducts just like any other cis woman can, and then by administering prolactin, you can lactate just like any other cis woman can.
Give me two trans women who've lactated.
There are literally case studies of this. You can Google it. Trans women who have
read the case studies, and it wasn't considered quote unquote milk. There were substances that came from their breasts because of heavy hormonal intake, but it wasn't milk. And the doctors could not determine.
One second. We actually have a case study where a trans woman was able to produce enough milk, real milk, such that she became the sole source of food for a baby, which turned out perfectly healthy. We actually have this as a case study in the scientific literature.
And doctors have warned against trans women taking hormonal supplements to enable them to produce quote unquote milk, because there are adverse side effects to the baby because of the medication that these men are taking that will cause them to produce substances from the milk. They also warn that babies should not be given these substances because
you're interrupting me. Source on that? I will go ahead and cite my source.
Look at the FDA.
One sec. Shandante,
let me read
I'm going to cite my source. My source is titled Case Report, Induced Lactation in a Transgender Woman. This is a peer-reviewed, published article. It has the PMID of 293-72185. You can look up this science article, peer-reviewed and published in a journal for free online.
Okay, hold on.
And the results of the study says a 30-year-old transgender woman who had been receiving feminizing hormone therapy for the past 6 years presented to our clinic with the goal of being able to breastfeed her adopted infant. After implementing a regimen of domperidone, estradiol, and progesterone, and breast pumping, she was able to achieve sufficient breast milk volume to be the sole source of nourishment for her child for 6 weeks. This case illustrates that, in some cases, modest but functional lactation can be induced in transgender women. So, yeah, trans women can lactate.
Okay, and is it milk? Was it considered milk?
Yes, the study literally said sufficient breast milk volume.
Okay, why did they call it breast milk? Because the substance came from the chest of the man, right?
It came from the breasts of the transgender. Wait, do you believe that transgender women don't have breasts?
No, it's fatty tissue.
Shandante, can I ask you, what causes women or female people to develop breasts?
What, the mammary gland?
What causes female people to develop their breasts?
What is a breast? Tell me what a breast is. What is a
Wait,
breast?
I asked you a question. Can you answer my questions?
What is
I
a
asked you,
breast,
what
Naomi?
causes female people to develop breasts? Do you
Oh
not
my
know?
God. If I don't know, I'm looking up a study that says that the babies are going to have adverse
Shandante,
effects on.
Shandante, you need to answer my
Naomi, you and I
question.
know what causes women to develop
What is
breasts.
it then? Can you tell me? Do you know what causes female people to develop breasts?
No, Naomi, I don't. Could you please elaborate?
Absolutely. It is the hormones in their body, estrogen
And what
and
else?
progesterone. When trans women take
And
estrogen and
what do they?
progesterone, they develop breasts the same as cis women do. Essentially,
Oh,
our
and
bodies, our bodies,
what
our
do females have
biological
in their breasts?
blueprints the same. And what causes
And
you to develop breasts is simply the hormones in your body. Any body,
oh,
regardless if they were assigned male at birth or assigned female at birth,
and what
if
do
they
the
are
breasts
given
consist of?
estrogen,
What
they
do
will develop
female breasts
breasts.
consist of? What do female breasts consist of, Naomi?
Why don't you tell me? Like milk ducts,
I
like
don't
fatty
know.
tissue, like
I don't know. You are here educating me. I'm a janitor. I don't know. So what do female breasts consist of?
so I know that there's milk ducts, I know that there's fatty tissue, and I know that there's mammary glands.
Oh, and do men have mammary glands, as much mammary glands as women? Are they as developed as a female's mammary glands?
It depends what hormones are in their body. If it's a trans woman who's been taking estrogen for years, they will be as developed as any other female's body. Men do have mammary glands. What caused them to be
So
developed is
why is it?
estrogen. Trans women
So why is
obtain
it?
developed mammary glands through hormone
I
replacement
am
therapy. It's
crazy.
really cool. I
So
love science.
oh, yeah. So why is it that when the trans woman that you mentioned that was able to produce substances from his chest, why is it that he had to take so many hormonal medicines just to get that little bit
So
of substance to
I
come
can
from his
explain
breast?
this. Estrogen and progesterone are the female hormones that are natally produced in the cis female's body. Trans women have to take those exogenously in order to develop, their hormonal profile and their anatomical profile as female. And then domperidone is a medicine which causes the body to produce prolactin, which is the hormone needed to produce breast milk. Domperidone is also prescribed to cis women that want to breastfeed, but they have not given birth. This is the standard treatment regimen for breastfeeding: is domperidone, estrogen, progesterone, and breast pumping. They essentially gave the trans women the standard treatment that they would give to any cis woman, and she was able to produce
Oh,
breast milk just as any other cis
so
woman.
you're saying that all these medications, all those medications that you mentioned, are what biological women have to take when they breastfeed, or is it just one of these medications?
So it depends. Some like cisgender women only need to take domperidone and do breast pumping because their natal hormone levels are enough. But that's why trans women take estrogen and progesterone to bring their hormone levels in line with a natal females, a cis females.
Okay, so a biological woman just needs to take one of these medications, but a trans woman has to take several doses of medication to produce just a little bit of milk. So this is the article. I'm going to
Wait,
give you the
hold up.
name.
I want to be clear. It was sufficient breast milk to become the sole source of nourishment for a child.
And did it have
You're
any nutrients?
misrepresenting, Shandante, you're
Did it have?
misrepresenting the scientific article that I cited to you when you say it's just a little breast milk. It is sufficient
Oh,
breast milk to be the sole source of nourishment of a child. And I have never
oh,
claimed that trans women don't have to take more hormones than a cis woman does in order to have these same biological characteristics. That's why
okay. So
trans
the
women take
one
HRT.
So the one trans woman that they were able to have substances come from his chest. You're saying that this is the groundbreaking evidence that you need that trans women can lactate, given the fact that doctors warn. So in an article by the New York Times, it says that doctors warn against trans women who are taking hormonal medicines to be able to breastfeed, and that it has an adverse
Can
effect
you
on the
can you cite
infant.
the name of the article for me? I want to find this article.
In a mother's milk by
The
the New
article is
York
called "In
Times.
a Mother's Milk,"
In a
New
mother's
York
milk.
Times.
And I'm going to give you another article as well. Okay, so it says that okay, and it says that this is a Daily Mail dot
Wait,
UK
I
dot
just
co
found
dot
the
UK.
article wait. I just found the article, the "In a Mother's Milk," and the word transgender or trans doesn't appear in there once. Are you lying
Oh,
to
you
me?
can no, you can Naomi. It says that the hormones that are there, the hormonal medicines that trans women take. Naomi, you didn't see that?
Where does it say it?
Oh, somebody
Can
saying
you
the
give me
Daily
the
Mail is
quote?
conservative. Oh my God, no, they're saying that it's because it's a conservative site. we're wrong. Okay, so all right.
The article you're quoting me is New York Times. It's titled "In a Mother's Milk: Nutrients and a Message Too." Is that the article?
It says the harmful effects. Let me read it because I don't know if we have the same one.
What is the title and the author of the article?
It says "In a Mother's Milk." That's all I'm seeing right here.
Who's the author?
I don't know. I don't see that there.
Can you scroll to the top and tell me the title and author?
I'm giving you what it says. You want me to turn the screen on so you can see it?
I would like you to give me the title and the author of this article. I can give you the title and author of the article of the peer-reviewed scientific study, which I cited at you.
Okay, skip that one. Here's another one by the Daily Mail. NHS accuses of putting it because Naomi, you want to deflect.
Can I ask why are you skipping that article?
Naomi, you want to deflect. There are several articles that are on the case that are studied.
You were trying to cite that article earlier. Why are you no longer wanting to cite it?
Let me see if I can flip the camera on.
Are you trying to move on because you were wrong about what the article says?
Naomi, I wasn't wrong about what the article says. I can read the article for you. I can turn my camera on.
What's the New York Times article title and author?
Transgender woman breastfeeds baby after hospital induces.
Wait, no, I asked you for the New York Times article.
Naomi, you know what the problem is, Naomi? You saw that you're losing and it's becoming butterous for you, so you want to skip over. But let me see if I can find the article.
How am I losing by telling you that you're lying about an article? How is that losing?
Let me see if I can click on this.
Wait, please stop pivoting. Can you just tell me the title of the article? So what's the title of the New York Times article? Because when I Google search "In a Mother's Milk," New York Times, the only article that popped up was this one titled "In a Mother's Milk: Nutrients and a Message Too" by Carl Zimmer, and it doesn't mention anything about trans people. What was the article you were citing?
You're right, sir. You're right. Oh my gosh. You're right. I clicked on the wrong. I'm sorry, my brother. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my brother. I did click on. Yeah, I did click on the wrong one.
When you're wrong.
It's a lot of them that came up. I'm sorry, my brother. I was in fact wrong. Okay, so it says no, that it says "In a Mother's Milk." That is one article, and somebody expound on that one. And the other is the NHS accuses of putting babies at harm over the advice of trans women. So in this one by the Daily Mail, let me see if I can click on that one, my brother. 1 minute.
Do you believe that the Daily Mail is a like fair and unbiased source?
So Naomi, you're going to say that the Daily Mail is a conservative site and that we couldn't trust them, but you want me to trust your article.
Shanta, let me read the first sentence of this article, and can you tell me if this seems like a biased or unbiased statement? The first sentence says, "Newborn babies could be harmed by woke NHS-backed guidance that states trans women can breastfeed." Is that a biased or unbiased claim?
So Naomi,
why do they have to call the NHS guidelines woke? That seems very biased.
So my brother, you're going to say, okay, let me not look on the Daily Mail one. Okay,
wait, actually, I want to read the Daily Mail one. It's talking about domperidone. Oh, wait, this isn't. Oh my gosh. So do you know why domperidone is like not prescribed in the US?
No, could you please elaborate?
So domperidone is not prescribed in the US because it has been linked to some heart conditions, particularly in like very old women. And so they stopped prescribing in the US. This article is just claiming that it's due to domperidone. There's actually been no research which shows that domperidone like is negative on like the breast milk supply, or that it like has any kind of like harmful substances that are like put into the milk. So this article is really like misrepresenting things by saying that it's bad because domperidone's bad. And also domperidone is prescribed in other countries. They just simply don't prescribe it to really old people because it can cause heart problems.
And do trans women take it in the hormones that they take that enables them to lactate?
Can trans women do what?
Do trans women take them in the medication that they take that enables them to lactate?
Do trans women take medication that enables them to lactate?
Yeah, oh my God.
Yes, just as many cisgender women do.
Okay, so in these medication, there is no cis woman, my brother. So So do you want another source?
You don't believe that the term cisgender exists?
So are you going to read the article and what the article says, Naomi? And there's no trans women, they're just women. Read what the article says.
I literally read, wait, I believe that cisgender women are women. Being cisgender does not mean that you're not a woman.
There's just one woman, Naomi. Naomi, there's just one woman, and that are the ones that born girls. So if you were not born a girl, Naomi, you can never be a woman, my brother. I'm sorry to break it to you, but you see, you don't want to read the article because it actually debunks everything that you said. You're deflecting, you're deflecting, you're doing all these other things. Please read the article, my brother.
Shandante, you just contradicted yourself. You said that if you're never born as a gender, you can never be that gender. But we both agreed with Quevedos people that the gender that they were told they were at birth is not the gender they are.
Naomi, what is a girl?
What is a girl?
Yeah.
Well, that would essentially be a young woman.
A young woman, and by definition, a woman is a female. So if you're born a male,
woman's a social category, not a biological one.
Women are females. Gender are male and female. The social category that was placed on man and woman, and male and female is man and woman.
Do you believe that woman is an entire? Wait, Shandante, do you believe that woman is an entirely biological category?
Yes, because you have to be female.
Can you explain to me what is the biological basis of the color pink being considered womanly?
Oh, so you're talking about the social construct that are attached to male and females, that, you know, females wear pink, men wear blue. That is what you're talking about, that the social construct.
That's called gender. Man and woman are genders.
Those are called gender normality. Those are called gender normality. But men and women, right? The social construct, what society has established as male and female, is categorizing society as man and woman. So if you don't have the female organs, you're not a woman. If you don't have the male organs, you're not a man. So given the fact that society has constructed pink and blue...
hold up. We make assumptions all the time about people's gender, all without ever seeing their chromosomes, all without ever seeing their reproductive organs. When you go out in public and you call someone ma'am or sir, you didn't look at their genitals to do that. You just looked at their social presentation and maybe some of their other perceivable secondary sex characteristics. You're doing this based on a social distinction, not a biological
one. Without medications, Naomi, would there ever be people that would be misgendered in public? In the olden days when they were transvestite, which is what you are, right? When transvestite in the olden days, without all these hormonal supplements, would you go outside, Naomi, and fool any man that you were a woman?
There are actually plenty of femboys that
like no, Naomi, think they're girls all the time. I'm not talking about femboys all the
time.
Naomi, without hormonal medicines that you use, that you continuously prove my point, and you just seem so engrossed in your delusions. You can't see. Without you taking female hormonal medicines, Naomi, you would not have any of the characteristics of a female.
This is actually really cool. Okay, wait, Shandante. Do you think some people might see this person and think that they're a girl?
No, I think that that's a boy.
Really? Nobody would think that that's a girl. Nobody would think that's a girl.
No, with the strong jawline, I don't know. But again, he's taking female supplements. He's taking hormonal medication. Naomi, you're proving my point, Naomi. My brother, you're proving my point. Without the hormonal medicines that mimic the female body, Naomi, no man could walk outside and say that he's a woman. He looks like a man to me with the strong jawline and those big ass hands. But that's just me. You look like a man to me, right? You look like a blonde Harry Potter.
My point, Shandante, my point wasn't what you think that person's gender is. My point was when this person goes out in public, some people will call them ma'am because they see them as a girl. They know nothing about this person's biology,
they take female. They take female, and you're proving my point. They take female hormonal medicines to be possible, and that's the point, because womanhood is based in our biology. Naomi,
Shandante, hold up. Finster's not a trans girl. He's a boy.
Exactly. Who's taking hormonal medicine? His jawline tells it.
Wait, no. Wait, Finster's not on HRT. That is a cis
But his
male.
jawline, and I'm telling you, I could see that it's a man from his jawline and the wig.
Wait, you were wrong about Finster's gender. You literally
guessed someone's gender wrong. Naomi, you literally heard me say that that's a man. No, you literally heard me say it.
You thought that Finster was a trans woman.
Yeah, but trans women are men, Naomi. What you're not getting? Trans women are men in
But
wigs
Finster's
and
not a
makeup.
trans woman. Therefore, you
So
got their gender
exactly, he's a
wrong.
man playing dress up, just like
Wait,
trans women are
even
men playing dress up.
Shandante, you just showed that even you can guess people's gender wrong sometimes.
Sir, I just told you that that was a man. I just told you that he was a man playing dress up, just like you're a man playing dress up. Society knows what a woman is, and they don't have penises, my brother. You living in
But my
delusions will not
point,
change that.
My point is that when Finster goes out in public, he gets called ma'am all the time because of
Well,
his
maybe
social
because people don't
presentation.
know what a
You get
woman is.
gendered. Wait, Shandante, you get gendered in public based on your social presentation, not based on whether or not you have certain reproductive organs. That's how gender works.
Naomi, you know what I think is wrong with you? Because the other day Snacks was talking to you and you refuse to acknowledge that you're a male. And this is the thing, you really do have
Wait,
gender dysphoria, which is a
when have
mental
I
illness.
wait, hold up.
And,
When have I misrepresented my
and
biology in any way? When have
are
I
you a
misrepresented my
male?
biology in any way?
Are you a male?
I am a trans female.
There's no such thing.
There's no such thing as a trans female. I don't exist anymore. Oh no.
Naomi, you
Wait.
literally
You,
don't exist in
Shandante,
reality, and that's the problem, my
Shandante,
brother. My
you do
brother,
know. Wait,
you
hold up.
see, I
Shandante,
told him that the
wait,
guy was a man.
Shandante, you agreed with me. Shandante,
Listen,
you agreed with me. Hold up. You agreed with me that biological sex is more than just reproduction. It accounts for lots of sexually dimorphic characteristics, and many of those are more in line with females than males for me. That's why trans women's risk of heart disease, bone disease, and most cancers is in line with female people, not male people.
Naomi, my brother, you have
Biologically
access,
female.
Naomi, my brother, I'm sorry to break it to you, but the reason why you stand the risk of that is because of the medication that you're taking. You also stand the risk of liver damage, kidney cancer, liver cancer. You also stand the risk of
You
brain
do know
damage,
that, wait,
loss of
you do
sight.
know that
You also stand
hormones
those
are
risks
not linked
because
to
of
any
the.
increase in cancer rates, right?
Have you read the new study that linked
I
puberty
am up to date
blockers
on the studies.
to brain swelling and blindness? Have you read that study by the FDA? Have you read the study that the FDA
Can you
warns that
cite the
trans
study?
women who are taking hormonal medicines to lactate can prove dangerous to the babies? I literally gave you the study and you refuse to read it because it goes
You know,
against your narrative.
Shandante,
My
you did
brother,
not
you
give me a
cannot change your
study.
sex. Naomi,
Shandante, you did not give me a
I'm
study.
going to,
You gave me a Daily Mail article, which doesn't even
which
say
you
that, like,
refuse to read.
it doesn't even
That
say
was
what you
from
think it says. It's just
the
criticizing
NHS.
Dom
That was
Peridot.
from the NHS. That was from the NHS in UK. Just because they
What was from the
read.
NHS? Can you please
You
cite
didn't
this for
see that
me?
the article, according to the
Can,
NHS, you didn't see that the article
can
from
you cite this
the
article
Daily
for me?
Mail was quoting
Shandante,
the NHS.
can you
Give me
please
the
give me the
laptop.
name of this art of the name of the study and the author?
Hold on, give me the laptop. You just were on the study, the same one that you said was from the Daily Mail.
You do know that
Look
Daily
it
Mail
up.
is not a study, right? It's just an article.
Oh, exactly. The Daily Mail is not the study. The study was done by the NHS. Don't you see it right there on the screen?
Oh, can you tell me what is the name of the study?
You're on the web. You're on it, right? Go on it again.
I see
Just
it
read
talks
it.
about the NHS's guidelines, but that's
Oh,
not a
and what is the
study. Those are
NHS?
just
Okay,
medical
what is the
guidelines.
NHS? So the
You do know
study
that
was
medical
from the
guidelines and studies are
NHS.
different things, right? Wait, Shandante, do you know the difference between a scientific study and a medical guideline?
No, Naomi, I'm a janitor. What is that? What does it mean?
Okay, so a scientific study studies a phenomenon in people. Medical guidelines just essentially describe best practices for treating people. Those are very different
Oh,
things.
so who gives the
I
medical
see that the Daily Mail
guidelines?
article links to NHS guidelines. That's not a study. Actually, it doesn't even link to
Oh,
them.
so what is the NHS? What is the NHS?
Like the National Health Service in the UK.
Oh, the National Health Service in the UK. And who works at the NHS? Are the janitors the ones conducting these studies?
It's typically doctors and
Oh,
people with PhDs and
doctors.
researchers.
So the research and the doctors gave this study based on what they've researched and what they've studied in trans women and the hormonal medicines that the trans women take, right? And they studied and they
Wait,
did their research and they said that
Shandante,
these medications can
hold
be
up.
dangerous to the babies, right?
Wait. Is the study you're citing the NH or the study you're citing the NHS guidelines? Is that what you're trying to cite at me?
What does it? Where is the study from that I talked to you about?
You never cited the study. I'm trying to figure out what is the
Oh, so
study.
you
You
just
just
said
said it's
it's
in
from
the
the
article, but the
NHS,
article actually
and
hold
it
on, baby.
warns
The article
against
actually doesn't link to it.
transplantation.
The article just like links back to the Daily Mail.
Oh, the article just leads back to the Daily Mail, but they're saying that the NHS did it. So the
So
Daily Mail
you
are doctors
wait,
now.
Dante, do you know what the NHS guidelines do say? Because the NHS guidelines say that trans women can breastfeed. That's what the
They
guidelines
said,
say. Once
oh,
again,
so
the science actually
oh,
says that trans women can breastfeed. You're wrong about the
so
article
what?
again.
So they didn't say the dangers of it.
No, the NHS did not say it's dangerous. They said that trans women can breastfeed.
Oh, they said that they can breastfeed
Yes, the
in the
NHS
lab.
says that trans women can breastfeed. Which do you trust more, the Daily Mail or like the NHS guidelines?
Hold it, hold it, hold it.
Every article you cited at me, you were wrong about. That's kind of crazy.
Let me read it just to make sure, because I'm a janitor. I don't know.
Absolutely. You can take your time to read. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah. I need to take my time. I'm very slow. It must be the
Absolutely. Take the time you
testosterone that
need.
I'm taking.
It's the what?
It must be the testosterone, the synthetic hormones that I'm taking.
You're taking testosterone?
Yeah.
Are you a transgender man?
I'm a transgendered it.
You want to go by it? It's?
Yeah.
Okay. So how's reading the study going?
It's going very slow because I have to take my time.
Wait, when you say it, are you referring to the study or yourself?
No, it is going very slow because I have to take my time.
What is it? Is it you or is it the study?
Yeah, it is me.
Okay. So from the article you cited at me, it talks about the NHS guidelines, which
I'm
say
looking
that
for
yeah,
the
trans women
article that I
can
read
breastfeed. And
where they
then
say that
this article is trying to
dangerous for
say that
trans
there's
women to
some
breastfeed.
problems with domperidone, but we've known about these for a while. It simply
Oh,
can
so they said
cause
that
some
there are
heart
problems.
problems in.
Okay. So they're saying that there are problems with domperidone, which can cause cancers, right?
No, domperidone has been linked to like if people take it when they're like really older, it's been linked to some heart
Yeah.
problems. They don't like
So
prescribe it to
heart
like elderly
problem.
women,
Oh,
like
okay.
in
So
elderly
they
women.
say that there's domperidone in it that causes what?
So domperidone is the medicine which raises prolactin levels, which allows female people to lactate. It actually allows male people to lactate too, but not as much.
Oh,
Now, essentially,
so they're saying that the synthetic
domperidone is
ones.
not prescribed in the U.S. because it's been
Uh-huh.
linked to heart issues when it's prescribed to elderly
Heart
people. But
disease
that's why we don't
and heart
prescribe it to
attack.
elderly people
Oh, and
elsewhere.
is domperidone in the medication that trans women take that enables them to quote unquote lactate?
Yes, both trans women and
Okay.
cis women take domperidone to lactate.
Oh, so you're saying that the quantities that a biological woman takes is the same quantity that a trans woman takes.
I believe typically, and when it comes to domperidone regimens, yeah. When I look at the case study, they actually just gave the trans woman the standard dose of domperidone that they would give to any cis woman that's trying to induce
Oh,
lactation, and it worked.
so okay, so domperidone is one of the medications that trans women take that enables them to quote unquote lactate. What are some of the other medications?
So I've already told you it's domperidone, estradiol, progesterone, and then they also do breast
Estradiol. What
pump
is
as well.
estradiol? What is estradiol?
Estradiol is the bioidentical form of estrogen.
Oh, of estrogen. And what are some of the warnings against synthetic estrogen?
Well, I mean, essentially, it gives you a female hormonal profile, which is associated
No, what
with
are some of the
certain health factors.
Oh, so what are some of the warnings that are associated with synthetic estrogen? Is it kidney
I want to
disease,
be clear. The
liver
form of
disease,
wait, wait, hold
blood
up.
clots?
The form of estrogen that trans women take is identical to the form of estrogen that is produced naturally in cis females' bodies. Essentially, the risks that trans women have are identical to the risks that cis female people have because they have the same estrogen in their bodies.
And that is a bold-faced lie, Naomi, because there are risks associated with synthetic estrogen that states that it leads
I
to
want to be clear. Chandante, hold up. I think you might be misunderstanding me. There were older synthetic forms of estrogen that they used to prescribe to trans women that do have some risks. However, they don't prescribe those anymore. They only prescribe the bioidentical estrogen, which essentially only carries the same health risks that every cis female has.
Naomi, I'm telling you that that's bullshit again. Because with all these synthetic medications that trans women take that would enable them to quote unquote lactate have been proven, right? Studies have been done, right? That associate them with liver disease, kidney disease, heart disease. So that what they want in that article,
Are you talking
what
about the
is
older
interrupting me
synthetic forms of
again?
estrogen? Or are you
This
talking about bioidentical
new,
estrogen? Because those are
there is
very
no
different.
bioidentical estrogen, Naomi, because what the
You
body
don't think that
produces
bioidentical
naturally
estrogen
cannot
exists?
be compared to a synthetic.
Can you
He's
please
interrupting me.
Chandante, I'm going to Google
Naomi, I allowed you to
bioidentical
elaborate so
estrogen.
many times. Naomi, there is
Mm-hmm.
no comparing what your body produces naturally to what is created in a lab. What about that don't you understand? And the fact that the
Chandante,
NHS brought up this
do
medication
you know
that
what
causes heart
bioidentical
disease.
means? Do you know what bioidentical
Okay,
means?
okay.
I have a peer-reviewed journal article titled Bioidentical Hormone Therapy by
And I have
Biles
one
et
here
al.
from
It literally exists.
synthetic
Bioidentical hormones
estrogen.
exist. You're wrong, Chandante.
Naomi, I'm right, Naomi. And even in that article
Wait,
by the NHS, it warns against it because it is
how
proven
do
the
you refute this?
medication that trans women take. Oh my
How
God.
do you refute this peer-reviewed
Naomi,
scientific article which states that
Naomi,
bioidentical hormone therapy exists? How do you refute that article?
Naomi, we're not saying that the medication doesn't exist.
You
What
literally
I
said that
am
bioidentical
refuting,
estrogen doesn't exist. That's what you said. You are so silly.
Naomi, you're silly, my brother. Calm down and stop trying to deflect because you're just proving me right.
How am I
Right?
deflecting by pointing out that you
Bio
lied? That's not
Naomi, there
deflecting.
is no way that a biologist, right, can make something that is absolutely identical to what your body naturally produces. Anything that is synthetic, Naomi, can cause problems. What about that you don't understand, my brother? Ease off the estrogen and calm down. They are clouding your brain. I really do feel for you, my brother.
Hey,
I really do feel for
maybe
it
it's all
because
that
you
testosterone
know
that's clouding your
that
brain.
anything
How can we know? But
Naomi,
Chandante, I want to be clear.
anything that is synthetic,
Hold
Naomi,
up.
cannot be compared to the original. Even the
You
term
need to be
biological
Chandante. Hold up.
estrogen
Hold up.
is
You need to be
rubbish.
intellectually honest enough to take this L. You made the claim that
Naomi, I
bioidentical
warn time
estrogen
and time
does
again
not
because even the
Chandante,
article from the
please let me finish.
NHS
Can you please let me finish?
warns
Chandante,
against. Okay.
Shandante, wait. You made the claim that bioidentical estrogen does not exist. I cited a
Naomi,
peer-reviewed journal article which talks about bioidentical hormone therapy. You are incorrect. Bioidentical hormones do exist. Can you please admit that
Naomi,
yes, bioidentical hormones do exist?
Naomi, it's impossible. It's impossible.
I guess you know better than this peer-reviewed science article. How do you know better than this peer-reviewed science article?
Oh my God, I think he's actually just trying to deny. Naomi, where do they get these biological applicable estrogen? Where do they get it? Do they take it from
How
a
do they make
woman's body?
how
Yeah.
do they
Do
make
they take it from a
bioidentical
woman's
estrogen?
body? Yeah. Do they take it from a woman's body?
I would love to explain to you how they make bioidentical estrogen. Essentially, chemists have observed the chemical structure of estrogen, and what they found is that phytoestrogens, plant estrogens, are very similar in chemical structure. And they found that through a chemical process, they can alter the chemical structure of phytoestrogen to be identical to mammalian estrogen, and that creates bioidentical
Oh,
estrogen. It is identical
exactly.
to the
So
estrogen
thank
that is
you,
produced
Naomi.
in
You
cis
proved
females'
my
bodies.
point again. They use substances that are not natural to the body. They had to create it in a lab. It doesn't come from your body. So the term biological
Shandante,
estrogen that
do you
comes
know what?
from people
Wait,
creating it in a
Shandante,
lab is
hold up. I need
madness,
to explain this to
Naomi.
you. Shandante.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
So the element, okay, wait, I've got a really good analogy. The element helium occurs in nature. It is an atom, Shandante. The
Oh my
element
God.
helium
Naomi, we're
occurs,
talking about the
stop. I
body.
need to explain this to you.
Naomi, my brother,
Shandante, hold up. This is a
Naomi,
very
my
important
brother, you
analogy.
can't explain nothing to me.
Shandante,
Naomi, they
stop.
created
You're
in
on
a
my
lab.
live,
You prove
Shandante.
my
You're
point,
on my
my
live.
brother.
I need to
They
explain this to you.
created it in a lab.
Shandante,
It's not from the
Shandante,
body.
I
So
need to
it's not
explain this to you.
biological.
Oh my
It was,
gosh. Can I,
Naomi, you don't need to explain this to
Shandante,
me,
can we
Naomi.
stop screaming and let me explain this to you, okay? So essentially,
Come here.
whether or not
Come
something
here.
is
Let me find
created
you. Let me
through,
find
wait,
you,
wait,
cat.
Shandante, whether or
Let me
not
find
something
out.
exists in
Come here.
nature, Shandante,
Come
oh my
find
gosh,
out.
can you please let me talk?
Let me
I've
find out.
been
He
letting you
looks like
talk and
Harry
finish your
Potter.
points.
He looks
I
like Harry
please
Potter.
hope
Just
that
look
you
at
give
him.
me the same level of respect. I would like to talk and finish my point, okay?
Look
So
at him.
essentially, whether or not something occurs in nature or is created, it can still be identical. For example, there are helium atoms that
They
occur in
try to
nature.
replicate the
Shandante,
woman's
Shandante, you
estrogen.
are going to
They
let me
try to
finish.
replicate it
Shandante,
synthetically
Shandante,
by
stop. You
using
are going to let me finish.
chemicals and
Shandante, why can't
plants.
stop? Why can't you let me finish? Why you're being very rude right now. I really do not appreciate it. Okay? So I I need to explain this. There are helium
Oh my
atoms
God.
that exist in nature. A helium atom is an atom that has two
Naomi,
protons.
we're not
We
talking
can
about
also,
atoms. We're
Shandante,
not
it's an
talking about
analogy.
atoms.
You understand
Naomi,
what an analogy is?
no,
Shandante, stop.
no, I
Please
don't know what an
stop.
analogy is. I'm just a janitor. Naomi, all right, I'm going to say this
Shandante,
as my
I need to
parting
explain
words.
this to you. Please.
Naomi, hold on, brother.
Is there
It's
a way
your
to
show,
mute
my
someone
brother.
on TikTok Live?
Okay, my brother, I'm going to say this to you.
Seriously,
A
I need to
doctor
explain this to
cannot
you.
create something in your
Shandante,
body and have it
Shandante,
be
stop.
biological.
Seriously,
It's
Shandante,
synthetic.
stop.
It's
I need
synthetic,
to,
Naomi.
Shandante,
You
you are being
denying it.
incredibly rude right now. Shandante, I would like to have this conversation with you, but you're being incredibly rude and not letting me talk. Can you just let me talk, please? Why do you have to be so rude to me? Okay, so chill down and let me explain. Helium is an atom that has two protons. Helium occurs in nature, but we can also create helium through the process of nuclear fusion. Nuclear fusion is a process which
Mhm.
creates helium atoms if we fuse two hydrogen atoms together. The helium that is created through nuclear fusion
Oh my
and the
God.
helium that occurs in nature is identical in every way. Bioidentical estrogen is an estrogen identical to mammalian estrogen that is created through a process. Just because something is created through a process does not mean that is chemically not identical. Bioidentical estrogen is chemically identical to the estrogen produced in cis female's body. Just how
Naomi,
nuclearly
Naomi,
fused helium is
Naomi,
identical to the helium that occurs in nature. We
Naomi,
can create
Naomi,
identical things through
Naomi,
processes of chemistry.
Na- Naomi. If it is a copy, how can it be the same thing?
That's literally like it has all the same properties. That's what it means. Oh my gosh. Wowee. She was so silly. My goodness. That was that was probably the most hostile conversation I've had on here, to be honest. Like I don't know why she had to be so intentionally obtuse during this conversation and how like she would change her positions without ever like admitting defeat. Except in the one time where she did realize that she lied about that New York Times article and had to admit defeat there. She also did lie about the Daily Mail article. Yeah, it's not backed by any like substantial scientific evidence. Trans women can breastfeed. We have NHS guidelines which show that. We have case studies which show that trans women, yeah, they can indeed breastfeed. So, yeah, Shandante was literally wrong about everything until she started agreeing with me and pretending that like her point was my point. Oh my goodness. So that was pretty cool. Pretty cool.